Welcome to Azaz, that's Asks and Not Anything About Zoho, the show where we take your Zoho questions and spin them into Zenatta Gold. This is Volume 2, Issue Number 7. I'm your host, Greg Belknap, Director of Zoho Development here at Zenatta Consulting, and today I am joined by our marketing guru and campaigns expert, Wayne. Wayne, how you doing?
Thanks for having me, Greg. And yep, I'm Wayne Martin, Director of Marketing over here at Zenatta. So I'm good. I'm ready to answer some marketing questions. What do you guys got for me this week?
Well, let's pull it up. This question comes from Doug Pritchett, who asks, what about filtering out vendors? This is in reference to a YouTube video that we did on integrating CRM and Zoho campaigns. Doug asks, we've already synced our contacts, but there's no field to map using our custom field vendor name in the contacts. When we want to send out campaigns, our vendors are being included, but they don't need to be. So they've got all their contacts, the vendors are included in there, but when they're trying to send out their email campaigns, obviously they don't want their vendors getting the same kind of newsletters or campaign emails as their contacts. So what do you think's going on here?
So let me go ahead and share my screen. So basically what's happening is the vendor's name isn't a unique field to contacts. It's actually a lookup field to the vendors module. So he's right. When you're going into, say, sync services for contacts, you might see that field as a lookup field inside of the contacts record. But if I go here to contacts in field mapping, vendor name, if I go to edit, I can't choose vendor name as a field to segment or filter out. So a work around this would actually be, let's go into the CRM real quick and go to modules and fields, and we'll go to our contacts module. And let's add a quick checkbox field if I can find you. There it is. So we'll add checkbox field here, and we'll call it is a vendor. And we'll go ahead and save this. And what we'll do now is we'll create a quick workflow rule. And this is going to be a way you can filter out your vendors. We'll go to workflow rules, create a new rule. We'll choose the contacts module. And you can give it whatever name you want. And on record action, create or edit. And let's go ahead and choose vendor name is not empty. And when this is true, let's go ahead and update a field. And we will choose vendor name is true, save and associate. Give it a name. And we'll save this. So now every time someone has a vendor name, this field inside the contacts module will then go ahead and be, Mary Jane, nice, will be updated is a vendor if the vendor name is true. So then we can go ahead and come here back into Zoho campaigns.
And not even any deluge needed. So that's nice.
Yeah. Very simple. Yeah.
Our non-coding inclined.
Now, if we wanted to update the specific vendor names to filter out particular vendors, then you would probably need some deluge to pre-populate a single field for vendor name as its own field in the contacts module. But if we're just trying to exclude, we can now simply map this field, and then you can go ahead and go over to contacts. And once we initiate this, then we can go ahead and go over to segments and, pick any segment here. And let's go ahead and edit. And we can go ahead and choose is a vendor. and is false. So anyone that is not a vendor, would enter this segment that we were trying to send to. So that's pretty much the workaround for this. Pretty straightforward. Yeah. If you need deluge, let us know, and we'll have to add a little code share in these upcoming weeks on how you would do that. But that's that's hopefully answers your question, Doug.
Yeah, so interesting that not all the fields that are present on your contacts are available to just push over on their own. When it has to do with like an integration or something, you're unlikely to see those fields come over, right?
Yeah, and I also checked. You can't. The vendors module is one of those modules you can't actually sync with campaigns either. So it kind of limits you to what your possibilities are.
Gotcha. Well, thank you for helping us find a little workaround there, Wayne. I know that Doug is going to be very happy knowing that there's a way that he doesn't have to keep sending apology emails to his vendors saying, "Hey, you guys can ignore this. I'm sorry. I know you didn't want to get it, but I just don't know how not to send it to you."
Yep. And Doug, I guess a quick way too, if you wanted to skip the deluge, you could always export them all to a list, the specific vendors you didn't want to use, and then use that list to kind of filter out the criteria as well.
If you've got like a set vendor list that isn't going to change much anytime soon, and then add or remove them manually, I guess, to that list if you need to over in campaigns. So look at that. Right. You got two workarounds for the price of one. Lucky you.
Lots of options. I'm sure I could come up with a few more, but I think two should do the trick.
Two sounds good. All right, well, that's going to do it for us here at Azaz this week. Thank you once again, Wayne, for joining me. And if you want to have a chance to meet with any of us, go ahead, head to Zenatta.com and click on a meeting and set up a time to meet with us.
And if you have any questions or need additional resources, we have the ultimate free Zoho resource library where you can look up any Zoho application and find resources from articles to videos directly on our website.
You can also subscribe to our newsletter or join our online community at Club Zenatta. Over at Zenatta.com, we also have team training, all sorts of just cool things for you to check out. And as always, we would appreciate a like and subscribe here on our YouTube channel or following us on your preferred podcast app. That'll do it for us.
Speaking of twos, I guess that's it. So deuces.
Thank you, Wayne. We'll see you next time.
See you guys. I hope this was helpful.
Oh my gosh, I can't. There's no hinges. There's no hinges left. Yeah.